Appreciate
Awesome. I'm excited
appreciate
to
it.
go over this today, all the UI
Yeah,
UX stuff.
yeah, same. It's really cool that we at FlutterFlow are doing this AI month. Um, please apologize. I apologize in advance. My voice is a little raspy. I have some allergies, stuffy nose, and dry throat, so I may sound a little raspy, like your grandpa. But yeah, we are here in our UI UX live stream. Will is back, the man, the myth, the legend. I'm a millennial, so I have to say that stuff. Uh, so yeah, he's back with us, and we are going to go over some
Nice.
incredible AI, open AI, ChatGPT, um, API stuff today. We're going
Mhm.
to go over some of the templates that Will has created, that I've created. We're going to try to help you learn how easy it is with a few lines of code in custom functions and actions,
For
and a
sure.
few API calls to interact with the most powerful language learning model that we know, right? And to build apps that are specific to industries. So we're really excited. It's going to be a little slow here for people. We're building all week, so we didn't have a lot of time to market uh, and promote this live stream. But we've been getting a lot of views post live, so it's been a lot
Mhm.
of fun. I mean, 3,000 views about it in a week, so it's super cool. Well, it means that we're actually doing something that's helpful, I think. So
Yeah. No, definitely good. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback in the community and other places too, which has been great. A lot of questions answered and just good general feedback. So excited to continue that, especially headed into our AI month this month.
yeah, yeah. So we are FlutterFlow is building a few tools, a few features for our builders. We won't leak anything crazy during this time, but yeah, we're gonna have better support. We're gonna have better screen creation capabilities, possibly.
Mhm.
We have already, Will and I have already created templates that you guys can use in the marketplace. We're going to be launching a few more templates after this, or I will at least be launching another template after this live stream. We're going to go over some how to basically take his Will's, which maybe we'll show that. I'll go ahead and share my screen, and
Nice.
I think I have to turn it on. Cool. So Will actually created a marketplace item, and I launched it so that I could get all the credit. I'm just kidding.
Team effort
Um,
for sure.
yeah, it was a team effort. Um,
Yeah.
we'll go over here. So we have this template app you can utilize in the app store in the marketplace for FlutterFlow. It's super cool. It's very easy to use, like super easy to use. I'm going to showcase how I tweaked it in about 40 minutes of work before this, where I created something, on top of this API, this chat interface. So yeah, we're really looking forward to what we have in store for this, and how you guys can sort of go over. You can take this and run with it. It doesn't. You're not just stuck to a branded version of ChatGPT, right? Like
Yep.
you can add on to it. You can add pages onto it. I've already built two products, one this morning and one over the weekend, that sort of adds on to this chat interface and allows you to create documents or create marketing plans. So that's super fun. But yeah, what other words do you have, Will?
Yeah, I think this is going to be really big for any just general creators, right? Because you can take the applications you already have and add to them with the new GPT API. I know a massive thing about the API specifically is how much cheaper it is, which is unbelievable, right? Now it's 10 times cheaper than it was before. And even using the original API with like thousands of API calls, I think the most I ever spent in a single month was like $5 to $10. So the fact that it's 10 times cheaper is unbelievable. I think I saw a tweet that was saying if you were to pass the entire Harry Potter text, like all the books from start to finish, it would only cost like $2 or something like that.
Wow.
Um, Unbelievable, right? So this is going to be like a game changer for any application development. And today we're going to highlight just a few. use cases. And then,
Yep.
yeah, really stay tuned and please, we're looking to reach as many people as possible. So share our FlutterFlow AI month, right? We're going to be releasing more templates, potential partnerships, some really cool features from FlutterFlow too. So follow along as we release some of that. And we're going to actually be releasing a cool tutorial right after this live stream as well. So you'll be able to find that on Twitter and LinkedIn and through our Reddit and community.
Cool. Rock on. Yeah, as you can see, this is a sort of a branded version of ChatGPT
Mhm.
that Will created. I found that the easiest way to test it out is just to have ChatGPT create a wrap for FlutterFlow, so it's pretty good.
Nice.
During one of our internal team meetings, I actually did this wrap, or I actually wrapped it. I'm not a rapper. I'm very white, and I don't have rhythm. I don't have rhythm in my. I'm not even musical. So,
Nice.
but it's very cool, right? You can have all of this in here. We're actually going to go over how we created. I created something
Mm,
on top of this, and I'll show you that now. So I'll just dive into that.
nice.
We'll come back to this tab. Cool. All right. Showcase document creation app. All right. So yeah, I'll showcase this app. This is not the screen I will showcase. So one thing that I've been wanting for the longest period of time, if you guys are freelancers, you're developers. I'm a designer. I've worked in agency life for 10 years now, and creating proposals for projects, whether they're posted on Upwork or um, yeah, Upwork, LinkedIn, warm inquiries, anything, right? Like creating proposals is a time consuming effort. So what I did was I created a place where I could actually store all of my proposals. I could create templates. I could utilize AI to generate content for me. So I've built all this in FlutterFlow, right? We have this. This is sort of the document creation page where you have the AI chat, right? I just sort of copied I copied Will's structure and I changed it from a page to a component. And that allowed me to insert
Nice.
it almost anywhere I wanted to in my application. So
Nice.
here I'm inserted it into the document creation page where you can sort of chat, you can copy the responses over, you can edit them. The idea would be that you could easily create content for a proposal. And then also in the future, I'll add like stylization options for users, right? So that you could stylize headers, um, breaking points, you could do color backgrounds, you could do two-column layouts, things like that.
Nice.
So this is my pet project. I'm working on the weekends. I'll show you guys it in action. So here it is. First, I'll log out because some of these things I've built during the live stream, I've actually utilized here. So now we get to
Nice.
see them.
Looks
So you have
familiar.
this, yeah, right? Just small tweaks, right? We did this I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mhm.
We did the sign up login page. Um,
Nice. And the new focus state for color
oh,
changing is beautiful, right? So now you can
oh
change that. Like that purple looks phenomenal. Just a small
yeah,
UI touch that is,
yep.
yeah, stunning.
I'm a big fan of it. Big fan.
Nice.
So yeah, we have all our documents here, right?
Wow.
We have
Oh,
all our
nice. I like
sections
the
here.
animation too.
Oh
The
yeah,
text. Yeah, that's beautiful.
yeah,
Seriously,
yeah.
beautiful. Wow.
Utilizing some Lottie animations. So you can really
Nice.
create empty states for your
Wow.
list views easily by using a component.
Hmm.
So I really enjoy that. I just put a Lottie in there, a header and a subheader, and then
Wow.
we can do like, well, I'll create a new document so that we can just do this.
Nice.
So all I do is I create it, demo, live stream, proposal, really cool to show.
Maybe generate a uh, script or a proposed outline for the AI live stream. See if it
Yeah,
understands what FlutterFlow is, maybe the AI possibilities, things
yeah.
like that. That'd be pretty cool.
Leading a live stream for FlutterFlow developers, and
And
I'm
if you're just joining
outlining.
us, we are really diving deep into the AI possibilities now with FlutterFlow, right? We released a ChatGPT API template, app template that you can get on the marketplace just by logging into your FlutterFlow account, going to your dashboard, then to the marketplace, and you can search for that there. We have FlutterFlow AI month this month, right? So we're going to be releasing a ton of tutorials, really cool integrations, potential secret partnerships, and yeah, so stay tuned. We're going to dive into that today.
Yep. And I've
Nice.
been creating template screens to help train something
Hmm,
that is AI related,
interesting.
possibly. So that's all I'm going to say. But
Nice.
cool. So we asked the AI, right? I'm a UX designer leading Livestream. Asked it to create me an outline for this live stream. I think it did a
Wow.
pretty good job.
Nice. And I love how it
Yeah.
knows FlutterFlow, right? That's so
Oh,
cool to
dude.
see it talk about the low code and no code capabilities and drag and drop. Like it's, yeah, it's amazing.
Yep. Yep. So I can just copy that over. I
Wow.
create a new section. I just did
Nice.
this little guy, create a new section. It's right here. Then I'm able to sort of string that together, right?
Wow.
I can come back
Unbelievable.
here. I can edit this little guy. I can add whatever I want to.
Wow.
Um, we can create more sections. So that's
Yeah.
great.
This
I
is
want
beautiful.
to.
This is the first time I've seen this really like in production, and this is stunning. Like the workflow, the design, everything. I am blown away right now. I know I can. Sometimes I feel like I know what's possible with Flutterflow, and then seeing things like this, I'm like, oh my gosh, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. This is fun, man. This is a
Nice.
lot of fun. Um, and
Wow.
I have this little preview where you can just sort of see everything right
Nice.
now. Um,
Wow.
the idea would be that you could share this, right? Like I actually want to create this as a product. So I'm
Hmm.
working on it in my off time, not
Nice.
my working
Yeah.
time. So
That's
this is my weekend.
amazing.
It's my weekend project. My idea would be that you could share and collaborate with teammates. Then you could share it with clients as well. And you could actually, I mean, this could be a full proposal scoping, right? You invite your
Mhm.
clients to it. You could sign it. We have the signature widget. I mean, the possibilities are
Yeah.
endless.
You can
Nobody
even
steal my
pay.
idea.
You can collect Stripe
Yeah,
payment through.
you
Yeah.
could collect Stripe payment through this. It could be a total
Doc-
client management system.
yeah. That's
So,
amazing.
uh, yeah, super cool. This has been a lot of fun to build.
Mm.
Um, Also, if you guys were with us, I think last week I built this little modal for a
Nice.
profile. I ended up using it, so I
Nice.
wanted to integrate that. We have the ability to hide the chat, show the chat. If you wanted to just
Wow.
go into document writing mode, and just
Wow.
write out like you would.
That's
Um,
amazing.
so
And
you could
just
edit
to
the
give
title.
viewers some perspective, how long did this take? I know, right? We
Yeah,
just came out with this API integration. So, yeah, how long did building all of this take, right?
yeah. This was about a 2.5 to 3 hour process on
Wow.
Saturday. I was sort of sitting there with
Unbelievable.
family. They were all talking about
Wow.
stuff that I wasn't related to, so I just let them talk, and I just got on and I started building stuff, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can actually do this. This is incredible!"
Wow.
Like with Will's like little API calls and action, like gave me the power to create the tool I've been wanting for 3 years.
Wow.
Um,
That
so
is
yeah, it's been a lot of
crazy.
fun.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, Sean, good question. Is there a resource to learn more about ChatGPT? Actually, right after this live stream, we're going to be releasing a pretty cool tutorial and blog. So follow us on Twitter. You'll see it on our Reddit as well as LinkedIn to essentially fully set up an API ChatGPT integration. So you're going to have step-by-step instructions for any project you want to integrate it into. And then just follow along for AI month as well. We're going to be releasing more templates, more tutorials, and a ton of other content. So
Cool.
nice.
Perfect. And then, all right, document creation app. Will, you also have created, you utilized AI in one of your projects as well, if you want to
Mhm.
share that.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
can definitely do that. And
cool.
before I jump into that, what was the easiest part for you on the project you just built and the hardest part in your opinion?
Oh, yeah. Um, okay, one thing I would like to do is to save the chat history for each document,
Hmm.
right? Like even beyond a page state. So what I may do is either add that as an app state,
Nice.
or as a Firestore document, right? Where you just sort of save stuff to Firestore and you just load that collection.
Wow.
Um,
Nice.
so that'd be one of them. Just like it was actually really easy. I mean, like everything
Yeah.
was great.
Wow.
And it was a lot of
And
fun to.
that was a web app too, right? Like a lot of people think FlutterFlow is just for mobile. Like that
Yep,
is a beautiful, I mean, super responsive, snappy
yep.
um,
My goal
AI Flutter app.
my goal is to tone it back down to mobile. Everything is possible, right? Because we have everything in that component, so I can just
Hmm.
enter it as a bottom sheet, return stuff,
Wow.
copy and paste, and then go back to the document, stuff like that in
Nice.
mobile. So yeah, it's gonna be really easy to convert it to mobile. And then my goal is to actually get it on test flight and launch it as a Mac OS app because that would
Wow.
be incredibly fast. I mean,
For
like
sure.
that was pretty fast on the web, but on Mac
Yeah.
OS app, it'd be wild. And then also a mobile
Nice.
app, iPad, stuff like that. So
Wow.
yeah.
Nice. Really looking forward to that. That's unbelievable. I like, yeah, still blown away from how quick you could build that and just how beautiful you can make it look.
Oh
Unbelievable.
yeah. Yep. So yeah, we'll add links to all the templates we talk about. The document creation app, I don't know if I'll add as a template. It is a pet project.
Yeah.
I may edit it a little bit and let people use that template for other things for sure.
Hmm.
But I'll showcase how you can almost create something for a different industry very easily later on
Nice.
in this uh, live stream. So
Nice. And then Carol, speaking of only mobile, I was wondering, would Flutterflow be suitable for a landing page? So at the end of the day, right, Flutterflow is for building web apps, right? So it's probably not going to be the best use case of your time or just using the Flutter language to build out a landing page. There's probably better options out there to do it either quicker or more optimized, quote unquote, for SEO or other things. So that would just be something to look into. But if you decided to, right, we have a lot of different features on FlutterFlow. So we have hover states, we have custom domains, subdomains, um, passing page parameters, form submissions, email, just the list goes on. Google Analytics integration. So you could very well do it.
yep.
It's just kind of up to you, right? Make the best choice
Mhm.
for your purpose. So
Yep. I mean, it's sort of the same thing, right? Like you wouldn't necessarily build a landing page in React or Angular. You would most
mhm,
likely do it with HTML and CSS or a no code like
yeah,
Webflow or Framer, Card, something like that.
nice.
And then just
Yep.
hook up a form. So,
Nice.
yep.
Cool. Yeah, so let me jump into. I'm going to share a personal project. So this is something that similarly, I'm not going to be releasing. This was an old project I actually worked on before joining the FlutterFlow team. So background on myself, just as like a FlutterFlow employee, I was working on a startup before joining FlutterFlow. So kind of a FlutterFlow power user per se, and I just like fell in love with the platform. So I spent all my time for 6 to 8 months just building everything I could in FlutterFlow and really exploring the platform. And this web app was actually built before custom domains were launched. So it was funny. I remember going back and constantly asking the Flutter team. I think even Andrew specifically, right? When are custom domains going to be released? Because I would love to have it for this web app. And so, yeah, this is it, right? The purpose of this application, I won't show it live. I'll just be like showcasing the background of it. It was a one pager building tool for founders looking to pitch investors. So imagine you are using something like DocSend where you could send a PDF and get real time data about viewers. You could do the exact same thing, but founders just building out a one pager. So, just to give you a better understanding of what this screen is, a company would come in here and create an account. So, they would have, the logo, the company name up here, some other information, right? They could go to their dashboard. There's analytics, and you'd actually be amazed at the power of FlutterFlow when it comes to implementing some sort of tracking, right? We can get pretty creative with the feature set in widgets. So, for example, right, in the session data down here. Before I know I'm kind of sidetracked from the AI thing, but just to give you again some good context here,
Yep.
um, this is all with native FlutterFlow widgets. So what I would do is track when a user opened the page with the mouse enter, the mouse region widget, right? So when a user's mouse would enter the page, I would start a timer. And then the moment that mouse cursor left the page, then I would stop the timer. So that would allow me to know how long a user was viewing the page, because if they switched tabs or moved elsewhere, it would stop that timer and record that data. Similarly, right, share. So I could share a parameter whenever a user shared a link and could know the number of times they shared a document. Same for website visits. I could locally store on their device from the cookies. I could locally store their user ID. So I knew how many times a user would view a FlutterFlow page. Another thing, right, would just be tracking button clicks or some other things, right? So this is all powerful,
Great.
super, super powerful when it comes to building kind of detailed tracking for a web app. So that's what this page is. But the real power comes in the AI portion of it. So what I would do is take all the user data that I could gather, so their viewing time, how many times they view the page, all of that. And I would also take their email and utilize an API that's available by a company called ProxyCurl, where I could take their email and go to LinkedIn and find a LinkedIn account associated with that email. So I could get the user's headline, their location, past companies they've worked at, their professional summary, all of this data just from a user's email. So when a user would view my page, I'd ask for their email and I could get all of the data from LinkedIn. Then I could pass that with this beautiful ChatGPT API, pass that information over and say, write me a cold outreach email pushing to schedule a meeting with an investor based on the following LinkedIn information, right? And it would include their name, their headline, their location, past companies, a professional summary, any mutual connections. And it would return a fully written email that was essentially just stored as a local state when I would view the page. So whenever I would click in to get detailed information about a specific viewer, you can see this is the detailed info page where I could view their LinkedIn, or I could send them an email. I would pre-draft an email response to all of these people. And then with the FlutterFlow action, we have send email, right? So whenever a user would click on this, I could pass
Nice.
the user's email and pass that AI generated email. So the possibilities are truly endless when it comes to integrating this API, because here was a perfect use case of doing cold outreach at scale, just pre-drafting emails for people that would view my page, really empowering the end user, right? FlutterFlow is powerful not just for the builders, the people using the platform, but the number of features you can provide to the actual
Yep.
end user using the app you create is also unbelievable.
Yep. It's
So,
sweet.
yeah.
Man, that's incredible. Like when I saw this, when you posted it on community and showcased it, I was just like blown
Nice.
away. The way Will and I met was I had my agency. He approached Kaleo about a startup, and we sort of worked together on that project. If you've
For
listened to
sure.
the live stream, you've heard that story before. But dude, the way he learned FlutterFlow so quickly is really incredible. Like if we could just get, I don't know, 10% of our users to learn it at 1/10 of the speed that Will learned it, we would be golden, right? It's really not that hard. I mean, I say it's not that hard. I think it's pretty intuitive. I want to address this one. So Cam on
Yeah.
YouTube, he asked, what does FlutterFlow excel at compared to other low code, no code solutions? Um, so we excel at, I would say, optimizing the product development cycle, right? Other no code solutions like Flutter, the language, provides you to design and develop once and launch to all platforms:
Yep.
iOS, Android, Mac OS, web, Windows, Linux, anything you want. You could launch to a Apple Watch or a car if you wanted to. You can do almost anything with Flutter. So we don't lock you down. There's no vendor lockdown, right? We don't keep your code. We don't paywall your backend solution, right? We don't say only 3,000 records. We allow you to hook up to Supabase, to Firebase. Hooking up to Firebase is the most powerful thing to do in FlutterFlow because we push notifications, chat, all of these things you get out of the box.
Hmm.
Cloud functions. There's a lot of really good stuff. So, you know, I would say we are obviously a mobile first. If you there's very few other no code, low code solutions that provide the amount of platforms that we do with the amount of customization that we do with the amount of locking you down that we do. You can download your code as a pro
Hmm.
user. You can hook up to GitHub as a pro user. You can create a team and you can collaborate almost real time. You can all collaborate on the same project at once. We lock you down on the page level. You can add custom actions and widgets all within FlutterFlow itself. You don't even have to hook up to GitHub. You don't have to download your code. Um,
Hmm.
you can hook up with any API known to man. I think that's true. Basically, any API known
Oh,
to man.
yeah.
Um,
And that
and
allows
like
you to connect to other backend systems too, right? We have a
yeah,
lot of questions. A lot of users actually would be surprised. You could take when you're transitioning your application from something like Bubble to FlutterFlow, right, to have a more mobile optimized or web friendly application. You could, if you really needed to, pull that data from the old backend that you needed or that you had from an API. Obviously, you'd want to eventually move that data over, but the same is possible with like Xano. We have some request for that. And they actually just released a tutorial as well on how to integrate. So yeah, API calls. Sorry, Andrew, keep going there.
no, you're good. You're good,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, it's amazing what you can accomplish with FlutterFlow. I wanted to address this. Ethan, you had a really great question. Um, would you recommend a new user start with a learning project, jump into a project idea? Um, it depends on what you're best with, right? We have some tutorials. We're improving those tutorials. We will improve them. I have like a playlist that I send to new users. I'm just about to onboard an entire agency to FlutterFlow. They're a traditional development agency. They want to unlock the potential that FlutterFlow gives them to work on more projects, and they have a team of 30 developers, I think. So I'm going to run them through, best practices in FlutterFlow, the benefits of FlutterFlow. Um, if you run through basically our introduction or overview of FlutterFlow, a few of our live streams would be beneficial. And
Hmm.
then there's like 2 or 3 other videos of hooking up Firebase, using custom actions, using APIs. If you learn those things, the basic things, you should be pretty good, right? Like do a learning project. You can check out some of the sample apps and see how we've built. You can check out some of the marketplace items to see what's possible and especially responsively.
Hmm.
So that was another thing. Somebody said we only thought FlutterFlow was for mobile apps. Alex, yeah, we definitely market that. That's how it is on our website. We don't really even highlight the fact that you can build responsive apps. We're working on it. Don't worry. As we've highlighted and showcased, you can totally build web apps. We have custom domains. You can publish just as easily as you can from Bubble or Framer or Webflow, right? Just one click publish, 2 clicks really. But yeah, you can build almost anything, as Will showcased and as I showcased earlier. You can really utilize the power of Flutter, and Flutter unlocks this for you, right? FlutterFlow just allows you to visually build, quickly iterate. Um, it's basically a CMS for any application you build, which is amazing, right? Like if
Hmm.
you build websites, I've built websites for dozens and dozens and dozens of clients, right? They're always like, hey, I want to adjust the content. I want to have power over the marketing content. I want to change the images. And it's like, okay, cool. You have the power to do that with FlutterFlow now and launch the App Store. You don't have to have a development environment set up. You don't have to have, you don't have to keep that environment updated. We do all of that for
Hmm.
you. You don't have to have Xcode or Android Studio installed, which I know as developers, like you guys can all do that. If you're a non-developer, oh my gosh, I'm I'm decently tech savvy, and it gives me a headache every single time. Um, I'm not a developer, but I can get around. Um, but
Nice.
yeah, so those are some of the benefits. Sorry, I went
Yeah.
I went long on that, but
No, that was perfect. When it comes to API keys, you're going to need to go to ChatGPT, register for a free API key. When I say free,
Yeah.
a free account, but you'll have to
Yeah.
pay for usage. Granted, like we said, the usage costs are 10 times cheaper now. And to upgrade that, again, just go to OpenAI, their
Yep.
website, sign up for an account, go to your account, and create an API key. We have a base API key in there right now, but that'll be canceled soon. So you will need to update that. And then when it comes to, yeah, again, back to training, there are some great content creators creating courses or YouTube videos. We've actually been able to see how many YouTube videos people have been creating around FlutterFlow content. It's been unbelievable. I think we had 30 to 40 in the past 7 days. So tons of FlutterFlow content being pushed out on YouTube, but we're also working internally to improve that. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll have some good solutions for you as well.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Our John, our video guy, who's absolutely amazing. His voice is like godly, you know. He's working on some real enterprise training
Yep.
for some of our larger clients, and so he'll get back to traditional education at some point soon. So very cool.
Nice.
And yeah, as Will said, like go create a OpenAI account. You're going to have to in order to utilize those templates. Create keys. It's very easy. Platform.ai, openai.com or something is how you get to the login. So create an account, do that. Sweet. Let's see. FlutterFlow. All right,
We can
what's
jump
next?
into the ChatGPT template that we shared, and kind
Yeah,
of talk through that and do
yeah.
that.
Let me. So
Nice.
I have created a template. Share this
Great.
tab instead. Okay, I'll turn on my camera or my. There you go. Okay.
Awesome.
Um,
And something we did notice, right? Currently, the marketplace isn't mobile responsive if you're trying to view marketplace templates on your phone. So if anyone or anyone you know had an issue there trying to access that Chat GPT template and saw, window too small or were unable to go anywhere, just note you're able to see that on desktop. We're working on a mobile view though, so you would be able to view that. However, FlutterFlow, right, is only accessible as a web builder. So no matter what, you're going to want to go to a desktop device or laptop with a larger screen size in order to edit. So
yeah.
nice.
Okay, cool. So what I did was I copied a the template right from the marketplace. I just copied it over here. I inputted my own API key. I changed up the theme of the project, which is amazing. Everything was hooked up to theme, so I was able to easily, integrate another theme, light and dark mode, changing out essentially one, image in the background. Um, and then what I did was I created a start page. So the idea would be that you can create something, right? Like I had another user or another client mention he wants something for yoga education, right? Like he wants to create a yoga education plan, and so he wanted it to be tailored to yoga instructors, right? So you can do this for almost any industry, right? You can do it for contractors, you can do it for agencies, you can do it for developers, designers, marketing, um, you name it, right? Restaurant, you could create a menu for your restaurant, based off of this. You could, I think another person was like, yeah, I want to create like a cocktail app that I can input the ingredients I have and it'll return to me a cocktail that I can make with that stuff. The possibilities are endless. And you can do this really easily. So I have created a small like preempter screen. Um, and this allows me to sort of customize my first message that I'll send to ChatGPT, right? So I'm leading my user down a path. So, and I've done all of this within FlutterFlow, no API, anything. I'm basically going to string all of these things together with combined text and pass a parameter to the next page and feed it into the text box, right? So currently I have super important as you build in FlutterFlow, as you build forms and stuff, that you label your inputs and your choice chips and anything in a form that you actually want to draw data from. If you don't label them uniquely, they won't show up in the list of of things to grab data from. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I have title. So we'll just like input. I'm a marketing manager. I work in the no code industry.
Nice.
I have a visual app builder targeted to developers, um, and then a short description of what that is, right? Then I can choose my demographic, my age group. I can choose my tone of voice. And then all I want to do is sort of generate the plan, right? I just want to pass it to this page as my first message and then send that first message, right? So you have the form, and I'll show you how I sort of set this up. So you have the form here, and all you're going to do is you're going to tap this button here. You're going to create an action, and we need to pass a parameter. So I have a parameter on the other page called first message. I'm just going to pass this, and I'm working in beta. This is a cool thing. We're trying to optimize the way you set from variable. So we have the ability just to click this little guy and set from variable. The amazing thing that we implemented way back in January was this ability to select things on the canvas. So I'm going to actually do this. It makes it so easy to combine text. So I'm going to do combine text first. And I'm going to say, hello, I'm a space. And I'm just going to do variable. I'm going to select title. That's going to give me the title. So I'm going to say, I'm a marketing manager. We'll do a period here. I work in the space at the end. We'll do another text and we'll just do industry. Cool. This won't be perfect for every use case, right? But you don't have any, you can make these all sort of drop downs or choice chips to really fine tune this. I'm allowing the user to sort of input certain data. So it could return something totally wonky. But it's really cool that you can actually do this, right? So we have text five. All right. I work in the industry. I'm trying to market a okay, a the product we're marketing. We'll just input that.
And while you're finishing up that combined text, another
Yeah.
really interesting use case for an example here, right? Andrew just mentioned, one of his text fields says your industry, right? And it allows you to type in an industry, or maybe it's a job category or job title, things like that, right? It's so cool that you can utilize these APIs with such a wide variety of use cases. So, an example here, you could actually validate that text input utilizing ChatGPT as well, right? And the cost is going to be unbelievably small. So, in this case, you could take the your industry and send it to ChatGPT and say, I'm checking whether a form field input contains a industry. Return no if if the following information is not an industry, and return yes, or return true or false if it is, right? And ideally, you could do some testing, but that would be a cool opportunity to utilize some sort of form validation with the API as well, right? Um, and that way you wouldn't have to come up with some crazy complex function to check a ton of different job titles or industries. Like, you can just utilize this API and it's learned knowledge to return that. So pretty amazing if you think outside the box for use cases.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Sorry, guys. I know this is sort of a tone of voice.
And if you're just joining us, we're showcasing the power of AI applications built in FlutterFlow. So please join us across socials. We have FlutterFlow AI month this month. We're going to be sharing more Chat GPT API templates, maybe some other sneaky partnership templates coming up, some amazing FlutterFlow features. Really just stay tuned. And actually, right after this live stream, we're going to be releasing a tutorial on how to completely set up the Chat GPT API from scratch, right? So you could integrate it
Yeah.
into any project you want. You're going to see a beautiful blog written by one of our team members, Shovik, who's our technical writer. So he does an amazing job putting together graphics and an explanation on how to integrate that. Again, you'll see that right after this live stream.
Yep. And as we said, basically I just copied this template from the marketplace, and all I did was insert my API key, and then I created sort of a new page that allowed me to create forms where I could guide my user through. There's also another way you can do this, right? If you wanted, so um, this is very user based, right? User input, user generated. You don't
Mhm.
have to do this. You could basically target it down, right? If you were targeting marketing managers, um, I'll let I'll let Will uh, write the function. If you want to come in here, Will, and write this function,
Yeah,
dress the content. I'll let him showcase that
you
so that
got
you
it.
can actually pass through.
Yeah,
So,
I'll share my screen really quick.
yep.
Um, that way I can show that.
Yep, and I ran our test mode, and so we're gonna be able to test this out in a second.
Nice.
Showcase
So this
that.
is a yeah, so this is a different project. I'll just leave it as that. That way you can continue working on your end if you need to on that project so you can showcase it. So in our save chat history function that we have, again, you'll be able to completely understand this. It's broken down in the blog. We'll be releasing right after this live stream. You can see some basic things are passed, such as just a new chat in a JSON format, the chat history saved in a JSON format. That's what's actually passed to the ChatGPT API. So all we need to do here is just check in this custom function whether the chat history is already a list, if it has multiple responses. And if it's not, it's the first time you're sending a message, we need to make it into a list so we can pass it into the API. So all that this is doing is if we already have a list of chat history, it just adds the new chat that you just sent to that list and sends it to the API. Otherwise, it takes the first time you're sending a response and makes it into a list. But the amazing thing about the API is you can specify to the system what the system should be doing. So, for example, right, you could say, in this case, you're generating a marketing proposal. You could tell the system before the prompt even starts and the conversation starts that you are a marketing expert with 30 years of experience that has more corporate language when you speak and whatever you wanted to pass, right? You could give the system and make the system become anything you want, right? You could say you're a bot that returns true or false only, um, if and depending on the industry and whether it's a real industry or not, right? So you can pass anything to the system before you start having a conversation with it. So there's a system prompt first, then the role and assistant prompts. So what you could do here, again, this is an add-on to that blog we'll be releasing, is I
Yeah.
could go in here and add a system message. So I could do role, role system, right? So this is telling the API I'm writing a system message and then content, and then I can write the content. So you are a marketing expert with 30 years of experience and worked heavily in consulting, something like that, right? I can close it with another bracket there and put a comma. We have no errors here, right? Just the errors, obviously, in the import packages, which will be fine. They'll go away. So now at the start of our conversation, the bot or the API knows immediately, okay, I'm supposed to act as a marketing expert with 30 years of experience, and I've worked heavily in the consulting industry. So now any conversation I have with that assistant, that API, is going to be around that system context that I've established. So you could do this for any application. Say you're wanting to generate recipes or talk with a chef. You could say, okay, API bot or AI bot, you are a Michelin star trained chef with an Italian accent who's going to be providing me instructions on how to best cook meals, right? And then any conversation I have from that point on is going to have all of that information. So it's extremely powerful depending on the use case there. Now, Andrew, I'll pass it back over to you to actually showcase the platform you've been
Yeah.
working on.
Yeah, totally. Cool. So let's go ahead and I can reshare this little guy. All right. So I'm gonna instant reload my test setting or my test mode, and I'm gonna share it. Sorry. Okay, cool. All right, so we have this. Let's do marketing director. I'm in no code, a visual app builder that empowers. Visual app builder. We'll just say visual app builder. Um, to do visual app builder, and then have a prompt already here. I'm gonna just copy and paste it. We'll do male. We'll do age range 25 to 32. We'll do friendly, and we'll just go ahead and generate the plan. And as you
Nice.
can see, it sort of fed in to this little text box. Now, again, I did this in about 30 minutes or so earlier before this meeting. So there's
Mhm.
ways to actually make this be the first message that shows up and then start your chat from there. Currently, this was the easiest way. You just sort of feed it in, you send that message,
Nice.
and then we're going to actually get a return from ChatGPT. So we'll wait.
Nice.
We can address any comments. But there you go. Cool.
Nice.
There's our marketing plan. And if we paired this with our document creation portal that we had earlier, right? You could copy this over. Um,
Mhm.
you could copy this over easily to our document creator, and then you could share it with your manager or your CEO. And then they could, we could have a whole commenting system within our application, and they could leave feedback. I mean, it's endless. It's endless. So yeah, I mean, you could send this off and get it approved. So that's an
Nice.
easy way where you can sort of, take the template, apply your own idea to it, and basically make it ideal for a specific industry. You could productize this into an application, into a SaaS company, right? You could
Nice.
add profile pages, you could add a list of other documents to this. So it could be a landing page. You could have somebody enter their email into here and then go through the app creation process. There's a lot of things you can
Oh,
do. So I just want to showcase that. I think it's really cool.
nice.
So
Yeah. And you can even take just to further some of that API usage, if you get creative or have some technical insights, right? You could take that API and edit any of the chat history, similar to the current Chat GPT interface. So you could go back to any message, click an edit button, pull from the list of the JSON chat history, edit
yeah,
it in a text field, and pass it back to the JSON file and replace it in that list. So, right there's another way to manipulate past conversations. There's a ton. It's unbelievable the number of use cases here that you could utilize, especially with FlutterFlow when integrating.
yep, yeah,
Nice.
cool. I'm gonna create this a little better. So yeah, I mean,
Cool.
we just want to showcase that. I think it's really fun. So we can open it up to questions.
Hmm.
Um, this one in particular, we'll see Cam. We'll see what will happen. Um, this is actually a lot harder than you would think. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. Even some of the design tools out there, like there's Galileo AI, which will try to do this in Figma. There's Genius Design by Diagram that tries to do this in Figma.
Hmm.
They do a decent job, but again, they're just design. So doing this in code is a little harder. But we'll see. We'll see what the FlutterFlow team has. That's all I'll
Yeah.
say.
Nice.
But cool.
Yeah. Sean, you said, could this work to help write posts for my app, which is for customer engagement for building guitars for my clients? Yeah, right. You could pass anything. You don't even have to add that system message. You could just pass the first message to say, help me write a, help me write content regarding X for my app, which involves this, right? Like that, you could be very specific, and it'll get very detailed too, which is pretty cool.
I'm laughing because John, the man himself, the voice of FlutterFlow, asked me what I thought about. I told him I had access yesterday to Microsoft Designer, which is also like AI generated design. I they revoked my access for some reason. Like I clicked the invite, and I guess I didn't go through the proper sign up flow. So they're like, "This invite has expired." Sorry, John. I wasn't even able to check it out.
That's
My bad.
so, Darren. That is an interesting question. You okay? So there's a stream option for the API, but to be honest with you, I'm not technical enough. My background is not in development. So that's the amazing thing, right? I have no background in Dart Flutter development. This is all learned using FlutterFlow. So in you also utilizing the OpenAI codex feature that we have in FlutterFlow to write all these custom functions. You know how I wrote the ChatGPT API integration? The OpenAI codex wrote it for me, and I added it in, right? We're almost hitting the point where Turing languages and all of that, it's chaos. Um,
Yeah.
right? You'd be able to ask it to write something, check if there's an error. If error is true, then ask it to, fix it again until there's not an, like, there's different things. But in terms of the API, I don't know if the API call would repetitively update, because you would have to update a local state variable for every letter. Another option instead potentially would be splitting it by word. So you could wait, get the entire response. I've done this for another application, not in Flutter, but in JavaScript. You could take the full response back, split it, and return it by word. So ideally, your custom action, maybe it's a custom action or a custom function, would iterate through returning the list of words and updating a local variable or something like that.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, this is also really incredible. So that whole proposal software, I did the same thing, Daniel. I also used my own product to write the marketing copy for my product,
Nice.
and then I edited it as needed. So it's really powerful what you can do with ChatGPT, and also what you can do on top of it, right? Like currently in ChatGPT, you can't really share it among teams, but if you built something in FlutterFlow, you could target it down to your team, to your industry, and then you could share stuff via documents or something like that. So
Mhm.
it becomes a little more collaborative. We're building on top of it.
Yeah.
And you can build full applications on top of it. So it's really cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you haven't also, kept up to date with our socials, you missed a potential massive learning opportunity and tutorial by Andrew. Professional production. It was in the like Google Studio, professionally recorded everything. If you search on the Flutter official Flutter YouTube channel, you'll find a fantastic tutorial on how to build an AI art generating social media app. And we'll also be releasing that as a template coming
Yeah.
soon. But that's another opportunity where utilizing those API call integrations, you don't have to do just Chat GPT's API. You could
No
do
way.
any API from a machine learning model. So in this
Yep.
case, right, Artser, there's a full tutorial on how to build that from Andrew, Sophia, and Shovik from our team. So you can also go watch that on the Flutter
Yep.
official YouTube
Yeah.
channel.
And Sophia and Shovik really killed it on that. I mean, Shovik
Mhm.
had a lot of fun with the design of it and like
Nice.
integrating custom widgets. It's about a half hour long. I give an intro to FlutterFlow for like newbies. So yeah, if you guys want to, I go through responsive design, app bar stuff, little things, and then you have the full potential of API calls. And he even does like a little get progress of API call and return a value, and has a little like
Wow.
custom progress bar based off that. Very impressive by Shovik. And
Nice.
Sophia's like action flows and setting up the API. She did a really awesome job. So
Nice.
yeah, this is Joseph. We're right. You're right. it would have been a lot easier to build any type of OpenAI app
Yeah.
in FlutterFlow. It's perfect for that. So
Mhm.
now you
Nice.
know.
Mark, that's an interesting question. Would it be difficult to return the resulting response from ChatGPT to Firebase? So, no, when you use the function in an action chain, just name the output of the API for that action. So, I could say API output and name it at the bottom.
Yep.
And then I can use that anywhere. So, I could store that somewhere in Firebase. I could store it as a local variable. That's what we're doing. We're storing it as a local page state. That way, we're just not needing to connect to any Firebase backend to use it. But
Yep.
yes, that very much is possible, and other
Yeah.
backends too, if you're interested.
Totally. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do with my proposal generation tool. I'm actually going to hook it up to Firebase so that you're actually just seeing a stream of Firebase records, right? That's it. And then you can always go back to that. You can see previous responses. Um, you as a team member could see my responses. There's some complication there in real collaboration, but it's very cool what you can do
Hmm.
in that. So cool. Daniel, you can find it on Flutter on the Flutter YouTube channel.
And I'm going to
Just
post a
search.
link right now as
Yep.
well in the live
Yep.
chat on YouTube if you're watching
Hmm.
there.
And Daniel Gomes, I think you've asked this question twice. There is no public roadmap for FlutterFlow. There's not. We are your easiest way to figure out what's coming immediately in the future. So stay tuned on all of our live streams.
We
Um,
are working potentially on launching a new community. So you'll be pretty excited for that with some of the features, which might include a public events calendar for people to submit live streams or events they're doing for FlutterFlow. Another one is a voting feature for integrations, right? So if you really want an integration with another company really bad, right? You could suggest it or vote on other ones there, and our team's gonna, review those and hopefully integrate the most requested integrations. Same for features and other things. So really look forward to that when it comes to maybe wanting to be more interested or informed about what's to come with FlutterFlow.
yep. Dre had this interesting question. It's a way to reduce the number of tokens being sent to ChatGPT. I mean, as far as I know, you're just sending a JSON file, right, Will? So it's basically the same thing. I mean, in order for ChatGPT to almost work, you need a history of questions you've asked it. So um, I'm pretty sure this is like it's sort of the way it's set up. You can do just
Nice.
you can ask it one thing at a time, no problem.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't think this
Yeah.
will. Yeah, I think you're
You
pretty
could,
good.
yeah, you could send it just one message and get a response. In this case, we just wanted that full chat history, so
Hmm.
that's why we have that.
Yep. Cool. We have like 2 more minutes. We
It
can.
looks like I posted a link to the image of the video,
Oh,
not the actual video itself. So I'm updating that link right now in the chat. So
all good. Joseph, this is a great question. You have this ability now, more or less. You have the ability to create responsive states for widgets. It's not as easy as Webflow. Um, you can. I showcased last week how you can adjust the max width of a container via the conditional actions, right? If then statements, and based off of screen width, you can change the width of a container or the max width of a container, really. So you can do that. Currently, if you want to change the entire state of a widget, um, we have conditional visibility or responsive visibility. You can in that video last week, I also go over basically how you can do both of those things, right? How you can conditionally show something. If you want to show something different on mobile, you tap the responsive visibility. So yeah, this is
nice.
very easy.
Awesome. Yeah. So in terms of just kind of closing things out, yeah, make sure to stay tuned for FlutterFlow AI month, right? We're, like I said, follow us on Reddit. We have a FlutterFlow Reddit, our community forum, our LinkedIn, our Twitter. We're now active on Facebook as well. You can find us on
Yeah.
Facebook. So all of those locations, you'll be able to find more information about FlutterFlow AI month. please share any creations that you work on with us publicly. We would love to post those, repost those, like them, share them as amazing examples built with FlutterFlow. You'll be able to find templates soon, other exciting features from FlutterFlow too. So yeah, make sure to head to socials to find all of that information.
Yeah. Yep. And Phil, this is actually really easy. How do you copy pages from one project to another? What you have to do is copy the scaffold. So when you go to a project, copy the scaffold. So the topmost layer, essentially, or widget, and then go to a new project. Delete everything. It has to be an empty page. So no app bar, no column, no anything. You can paste your app right in there. If you saw what I was sharing earlier, I did that exact thing earlier today. In my document creation app, I had that form designed for proposal creation. I copied and pasted it over to the marketing plan, changed a few inputs, and then adjusted it to my design. So,
Nice.
John is on this video, so we could
Mhm.
we could bring that up to him. He's really good at all this stuff,
Mhm.
so that he's not just trolling us. We'll call him out
Nice.
here. We'll let him
Yeah.
create this. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad Will was able to join me this week. 10x
Yeah.
better. We are looking forward to next week. We will we will build more next week. This was sort of a showcase of what you
Mhm.
can do with that AI template, ChatGPT, all the products you can build. I'll be releasing that document, or I won't be releasing the document creation template. I'll do the marketing plan creation where you just sort of pass in that data, and we'll let you guys sort of take it, run with it from there. Looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. So
Nice.
awesome.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.